Hey, Vic here for the PracticalPrepper.com. Welcome back to another video. We're going to show you a little bit of what we do in the end of the season. This is actually October. October's been a very mild month, so it's the very end of October. We're going to have to get all the watering down here secured and drained. So when we go into freeze, we're not going to lose a lot of lines. And something that I had done during the summer is that I took our well sits here, and right here is where we have our irrigation control in our manifold. So all of our lines come back to this point. What I did is I actually got a trencher out and I've trenched down and put those 2 3/4 inch lines that feed zones 3 and 4. I've put those into a non-perforated drain pipe, about a 4 inch or 5 inch pipe. And then I buried it. So now it's underground and I can drive through here. And I did the same, excuse me, I did the same from this point down to this swale. And these lines are now underground in the same method. And then of course this one feeds to the end, which feeds zone 2. And another one of those 3/4 goes all the way over and connects right about here for zone 1. So with that, I've had to do a couple little things, which you'll see, but I'll talk about how I shut it down and how I drain it and some of the things we want to do for next season. I'm also looking ahead at adding on to this system. If we add some things down here, I'm starting to look at plans to actually build another manifold on the flip side, or do a corner and put another manifold so I can bring some more zones out there. Since only one zone runs at a time, we can put up to 400 feet of line out there. So, excuse me, and it'll deliver the right amount of water. So take a look at this video. We'll see how we shut it down, and then we'll talk about how we do in the spring, starting it back up and bringing everything back online. So here we go. So what I'm the most interested in today is that I'm still running irrigation, and I'm running it twice a week right now. But as you can see, a lot of frost on the ground. Oh! Slow down, dog. So let me check. Okay. Zone 2 has about 8 minutes left. So, let's go have a look. So here's the Zone 2 plant. Looks like nothing from the emitter. So let's check this one. Okay, well, I believe what we've got is the lines are charged. I think the lines are charged, and what I think's happening is that the actual little emitters are plugged up. I'm wondering if I can just find one. Because nothing is cracked. What I'm going to try to do is use my body heat here and see if I can't warm this emitter up and see if that's in fact what's happening. Okay, that doesn't seem to be changing anything. So, I'm wondering if we're actually getting water. Let me go check something here. This is the drain down check valve here. I don't think we're getting any water at all. So this is zone 1 over here. Oh. You know what? There's no point in watering. I'm not getting any water. So let's check. Okay, got water on the filter. I may have water, I may have frozen valves. And this may be right where the problem is. As I've got water to here, which means I've got inlet, I've got my flow valve, this pressure regulator, everything's getting water to here. I just don't have it. If I have it here, I've got it at the manifold. But I could have lost it right here in these puppies. The only real way to prove that is to, let's see here. Yeah, I don't have the tools, but I'm not getting the water out there, which means it's either freezing right at these valves in the morning, and it probably thaws out when it gets warmer, and then it'll flow. So I either start watering later in the day, or I just shut down watering and get everything drained out and call it good. So we got about just under 3 minutes left on this zone. I may wait and see it click over and see if I hear water rush. If I don't, then I think it's frozen in the valves right here, and I don't think it's getting out anywhere. I can manually turn this valve on. You should hear a whoosh, and I don't hear it. I hear a little bit of flow. So they froze. Okay. Well, that sums it up. I was trying to wait till the weekend, but it looks like it's time to drain lines. We're getting mornings that are definitely hitting the 32, and it looks to me like the next week will be in the low 60s for the daytime high, and the lows are going to drop to 32, maybe into 29s. We're starting to get in that time of year, and the way the schedule goes with us right now, it looks like I'm going to be off running a prepper group for a weekend camp, and then a couple weeks after that I'm going to be headed to Colorado to hunt. So we're right in that time of year here when we're going to really get the temperatures start to really drop and stay low. I checked everything this morning, and all of the irrigation was still on and working, and got no breaks in it, no ruptures at all. So what I'm going to do now is kind of decommission this for the year, and then I've got a couple modifications to make to some 3/4 main line. And I think once I have that done and drained out, we should be good to go. The emitter lines really don't have enough moisture left in them, I think, to be a real issue. There is a drain line which drains most of the main water out. There might be some little pockets, but given our humidity here, that will start to evaporate, and I don't think that'll be a much of a concern at all. Anyway, we'll take this off. This was the line that I have during the year. I'll remove this line and put it away and mark it that this was the one we used here. I've got 2 more like this for backups and other areas that I might put this into. I'm going to disconnect this. I'm going to take this whole piece of pipe here. I'm going to roll it over to drain it for now. I didn't quite build it the way I wanted to last year. What I want to do is build it around the corner here with a drain valve so I don't have to do this again. I want to make sure all the water's out of here. So when I do that, I'm also going to have enough room that I can add another piece of plywood, another overhang here, because I'll probably be adding another 4-valve station here at some point to irrigate some more crops once we do something with this inner swale area. If I get that grass to come up like you've seen in the video, then we'll be ready to do something. But right now we'll start decommissioning this, and I'm going to open the lines, make sure I've got everything drained out of it so I don't have any issues, and that'll be it for the winter. I think we'll probably do a little more watering, but I think it's going to be a plant by plant. We'll run around and soak some trees. I've got more wood chips coming because I want to do a lot of chop and drop, and then go ahead and wood chip over the top of that, and that'll pretty much secure everything for the rest of the year. So we'll get this decommissioned, and we'll go from there. All right. So I did that last valve, pulled it down here from the manifold to make sure the manifold drained. There's also another way I can do it. That's pulling the cap off the manifold. Now I know it's clear. So now I'm going to leave all 4 of these valves. This is the pivot right here. This can open and close the valve manually. These are going to stay open and let them drip. So we got all the waters out of them. We know the manifold's open. It's draining through the manifold all the way. These 2 lines here are 1 and 2. They go down the hill to the main swale. And these 2 are 3 and 4. These go up the hill, which is the reason we're still getting water out of them. And they go up the hill and they feed the tow swale. One of the things I'm going to do to make sure these lines are clear, because there is an area, and I'm not sure if you can see it, it's right here where I put them underground. This goes underground, but it's not deep enough to resist frost. So I'm afraid I'm going to have these lines damaged. I'm going to go up the hill a little bit later, use my air compressor and blow air through here and clear these lines out. This is the edge of the rock, or the rock face here for the culvert. So this is the lowest point. Now these are the 2 feed lines, 3/4 inch feed lines that come out of the valves. They run down here and take care of zone 1 on the main swale and zone 2 also on the main swale. This is really their lowest point. So what I'm going to do is, to drain these lines, and I didn't do this originally, was I'm going to cut in the parts I need. So first thing I'm going to do is cut in a T. And right now this water is just draining from that valve station. So what I'm going to do, rather than waste money on a valve, is I'm going to put in a dead end stopper here, which is this part. It's just how easy these fittings are to put together, because they're basically compression. You screw them on one way and then you screw them back the other way. And they pretty much tighten against themselves. Okay, so this is for the other one. Here's fitting 1, so that when I want to drain, all I have to really do is take this cap off. And she's draining. Now with this, I know I'm getting all the water from uphill, but I'm also draining the stuff that's up in here, coming out of this 1/2 inch tube. See, I'm getting a little bit more out of it. I'll go around and I'll work all these lines a little bit until I'm pretty sure I've gotten everything out of it. So in your lateral lines that are going out with your 18-inch emitters, there's not much water left in them. So I pretty much got everything out of this one. What I will do is go elevate this 1/2 inch loop on the other side, make sure I get it all back to here. So then it comes down to the other one, which we'll do the other one real quick. So we've now got our 2 3/4 inch main drains for here. What I'm going to do now is go down to the other end, and I'm going to walk that back, and we'll see how much more water comes out of this one. So just as a reference, when I get to the other side, you'll see this 3/4 line drain out. But where it was standing was on the north side of the road crossing, and this would be in Zone 2, the second part of Zone 2. Directly across from me, the other side of the road, is the other part of Zone 2, and then all the way down would be Zone 1. All my 3/4 inch lines in this area and on the tow swale basically run in the cut. So this one runs down the hill, comes into Zone 2 cut, goes across the road, and then follows the cut through the rest of Zone 2 and comes out on the other side. So it's important to lift these lines up, get all of that water out so you don't have any other issues going forward. Okay, well with that done, I think we've got the main swale pretty much drained. And I think we're good to go. I've checked some of the lateral lines and they're very light. Not hearing any moisture in them, so I think they're pretty much done. So we'll cap these two guys. And then I need to add one of these drain sets in the upper swale, or the tow swale, feeding Zone 3. That's where the line goes down the longest. And I can kind of pick it up and just work it way back and drain the line, and we're good. Should be good to go. So we'll go do that one. That should, once that's drained, that should wrap up draining the swales down. So we'll be ready for winter. Now comes some chop and drop. We'll be brushing them up, adding more chips, getting more mulch on top of whatever we chop, throwing a little more seed down. The last thing that will go on will be the chips, the last chips we're going to put on for the year. And that will pretty much insulate and hold everything, protect the soil so we don't lose any more nitrogen. And that should take care of it for the year. The other thing we'll do is we'll make sure we go through and everything gets tagged, marked, and sleeved for the year. And have a process, and we'll show you doing those. Well, I kind of started running around doing a few because the deer were nibbling, or it was the rabbits, I think, were nibbling a little bit at the bases of some of the smaller plants. So we're going to get everything ready to go for winter. Water's secured. We'll move along.